COVID has not been kind to the economy. Tourism, hospitality, small business, you name it, they've all been hit so hard. One exception, video gaming. This week, the week that social distancing rules were announced, sales of consoles leaped by a staggering 285%. Recent data from YouGov found more than 2 in 5 Australian gamers are playing more in a COVID world.
But we're also seeing a rise in passive participation. Figures by Google show that last year, 100 billion hours was spent watching gaming content on YouTube. So when it comes to our little ones, what are the long-term effects of being glued to games, and how can parents set healthy boundaries?
We welcome Dr. Joanne Orlando, family digital expert. Hi, nice to see you. The scientists say that children's brains through adolescence are considered plastic, like malleable. Explain what that means and how video gaming affects their short and long-term development.
Yeah, so if you think of how food affects our body, so healthy food affects it in a good way, junk food affects it in a different kind of way. Well, it's the same with how our brain develops. So for children, it's about what they do that affects their brain. So good activities stimulate new neural pathways, which is good. The more you have, the better, the better you can learn and things. Bad activities, which are very passive or unstimulating or that are highly stressful, they have a different effect on the brain. So in terms of gaming, you want to choose games that actually have a good effect on the brain. And there are a lot out there, not all games are the same. So you want to choose games that I call hard fun. So they're a bit of fun for the children, but they make their brain work hard, like puzzle games or strategy games or problem-solving games. You want to go for that kind of content. On the other hand, you want to minimise or reduce the kinds of passive games that children might play, where they're just sitting there and watching, or they're so easy, they can do them all really easily, or they're causing them stress. So it might be stress in the chat of other players, or it might be stressful content that they're just not ready for.
I'm bad at this reading thing, but did I make a mistake, or did I get that 100 billion hours?
No.
Is that right?
It is right. It's incredible, isn't it? So that means children are lining up in front of their screen and going online and watching other people play video games.
That's right. So explain to us oldies what that's about, because that's not sitting there having a go. That's actually sitting there with your feet up watching someone else, even paying someone else to watch them.
That's right, and it sounds boring, doesn't it? I think for most people, they say, why would they do that? Well, for when you talk to children, they say it's kind of like going to watch, a soccer game or a footy game. You watch the stars, you watch how skilled they are, you learn a bit if you're playing yourself, and it's entertaining. And then also children, amateurs are trying to make their way up into this kind of gaming content world as well. So they turn their camera on and others can come and watch them play a game. So it's very much like watching sport. But what the children tell me is that they say, old people watch sport on TV, young people watch gaming content. And by young, they say old people, watch sport on TV, and by old they mean like 30.
Yeah. As parents, should parents be hopping on these games and having a go themselves so they know what on earth we're talking about?
Yeah. It's really hard to parent when you don't know what you're talking about, and your children see right through you, don't they? So if you don't know much about games, you don't know what games your children are playing, then it's really hard to set the right kinds of rules at home about it. So even if it's boring, play a game every now and then, or sit with your child every now and then, and just get a better understanding of what this gaming situation is for your child, and then you can make much better decisions around that.
Any restaurant, any form of public transport, anywhere you go, you see kids, like little kids on the machines already starting to play. What is age appropriate? What's an appropriate age, I suppose, for kids to start?
It's tough. There's no actual guidelines that say at this age a child can start gaming, but they often start very young. Before they start school. So if a child is less than 5, we can take from the other kind of guidelines around children and technology, and one is make sure it's good quality game, hard fun kind of game, but also that you're with a child playing with them. We don't want, children being babysat by any kind of device. Once kids get to school, there's a lot of pressure on them to play games, particularly boys, still boys. So thinking about that idea of making sure that the game is appropriate for their age. So just like movies have classifications, games do as well. So a 5-year-old shouldn't be playing an R-rated game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some red flags here for parents. We'll just run them through. Loss of control, prioritise playing and ignoring other problems. They're the red flags that parents need to look out for, right?
That's right, and they will last for 12 months. So not just a week or two in the school holidays. A child seems to be a bit obsessed, but, you know, really obsessed about game. Other things that are falling down around them, and they still want to game more and more.
Okay. Addictive gaming habits can persist also into adulthood, right? Oh, let's have so we need some boundaries. We need to get some boundaries down quickly. Let's have a look at this. Recognising passive playing, that's important. And reduce alone time?
That's right. So a lot of children have got into the habit during COVID of just hanging on their device by themselves, doing their own thing. So sometimes alone on their device, sometimes playing with their mates online maybe, but sometimes playing with their little brother as well. So mixing up who they're playing with as well.
It's hard, would be hard to imagine sitting down and watching someone else play a video game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like that time,
I can't fathom it.
No, that time I came and watched you at the Northern Rivers Lawn Bowls tournament. Like, that's entertainment.
Yes. Live.
Similar. Similar for kids.
Very similar.
Also, there's that phenomenon now where it used to be kids, but now those kids are growing up and they're still sort of gaming into their 30s and 40s.
That's right, and gaming
scary.
addiction.
At the expense of spending time with their own kids.
That's right, and costing them a lot of money as well in the in-app purchases that they spend. So it's a big problem for adults that we don't often hear about.
Which is why we're soon launching the morning show video game.